My name is Pedro Tube Jr. I'm a housing counselor at Meta, and I'm also joined by Kimenti, who is from Habitats for Humanity, who will talk about their wonderful program in the second half of this presentation. Today's topic is home maintenance and repairs. So as I said, I personally am from Meta, but Meta is one of the 5 San Francisco-based housing counseling agencies, the others being Asian Inc., Balance, SF LGBT Center, and the SFHDC. We all work in the same field. We are all free, we all offer free housing counseling. Homeownership SF can connect you with HUD certified housing counselors. So this is like licensed at a federal level. We can help you in emergency planning, foreclosure prevention, refinancing questions, homeowner association issues, and understanding property taxes. Even though there are all multiple topics, in the end, the main goal of counseling is to ensure that you can keep and maintain your home after you moved in. If you're interested, you can always make a referral to Homeownership SF, and the information will be in the presentation. Just a little bit about Meta. Meta has multiple departments, but since I'm just about housing, we'll talk about a little bit about what we do. We offer home ownership counseling. It's a very broad topic, but you can think of a session consisting of financial coaching. Budgeting is a very important skill that needs to be developed and maintained, whether you want to purchase a home, and if you have, to keep it. Another part is debt counseling. As people may know, one of the 2 housing ratios, the back end, has a huge emphasis on debt. And not only is that a factor, so is your credit as well. One thing I like to see is that credit is how a financial institution gives you on a level of risk. It's like a risk assessment. And as well, with all the changes that have been happening with student loan programs, we do also offer assistance in that area as well. If you'd like to know more about organization, feel free to visit our website at metasf.org. So some of you may be prospective home buyers. Some of you may have already bought it. In the end, budgeting and long-term planning is still the same regardless of which phase you are in. It is the key to your financial stability. Once you've purchased, it is a huge financial commitment. I know for many, it takes the majority of their savings, of their nest egg. But now it's about keeping your home and maintaining your home as well. Not only do you have to worry about your monthly mortgage payments, you have to also think about any future issues that may arise. On average, the home will require replacements of 50% of its system and components over a period of 30 years. Some home improvements may be tax deductible, and the cost of certain repairs could be reduced taxes upon seller transfer. Do note the key is it's not immediate tax deduction. That would happen when or if you decide to sell your home. A home warranty covers the main components of your house in case something breaks within the term of the warranty. It will not typically cover routine maintenance. So for example, if you have an AC system and it has a backlight, the backlight does not work, that would be under the warranty. It's like let's just say your AC stops working for whatever reason. We can go to the next slide. So from what we do know from the statistic, maybe up to 50% of all systems in your house will be replaced at one certain point. It is also important to see the condition of the systems once you move in. For those who have bought in through the San Francisco's BMR program, you'll notice there's two category of BMRs, those that are new and those that are resales. By keeping track of the condition of your home, the lifespan, you can start getting a sense of when you might need to replace a certain system. It's always important to plan for maintenance, whether or not you have an HOA. If you have an HOA, do know that you're responsible for maintaining and replacing. So if it is inside the unit itself that needs repaired, you are liable for it. But do know an HOA is liable for shared spaces. Since we do know that these repairs can be pricey and they can be sudden, it is always good to consider a separate savings account for home upkeep. There are many online resources that you can use, such as looking at like plumbing fixtures and flooring, as well as basic appliances. So that way you can have a timeline. Right, if we can go to the next slide. So there are different types of home upkeep, and we've categorized into three categories. The first is preventive maintenance. This would include routine and typically inexpensive work that prolongs the life and efficiency of the object. For example, recaulking, cabinetry adjustments, changing filters of your home. And these are usually smaller projects, and these could usually be done by you, the homeowner. The second level, we'd call this corrective maintenance and repairs. Let's say the systems have not been maintained. So this work that may include replacing or making more extensive repairs that keeps the property in good conditions. At this level, you may require a licensed professional and a building permit due to the sensitive nature of it, and you may not feel comfortable learning and even if you know, doing it on your home. And the last level, which is the most severe, home improvement projects. These are generally more extensive projects that may involve several home systems, and they can add value to your property and or substantially prolong its life. This usually requires a general contractor and possibly subcontractors. This may require multiple building permits and approval from your HOA. So to see a sense of how I said it ties in together, we will look at shower tile grout. Bathroom, everyone's familiar with tile. Let's say if I have a stall, the caulking would be the paste in between the tiles themselves, in this example. So maintenance would be annually check the bathroom grout and recalc as needed. When it is cracked, and signs of this would be if you see that this tile is cracked, it's missing, it's peeling, or you see molding. This may cost around $30 in materials and a few hours of time. But let's say you ignore this issue. Let's say you're like, okay, I don't mind a little bit of mold, or I don't want to spend the time to do so, or money. Next would be repair. So unmaintained grout can lead to discoloration, staining, cracks in the tile, mold/mildew, and water damage to walls and floor that require hundreds or thousands of dollars in repairs. So now that you saw from not maintaining your shower, it's led to some superficial damage. But let's say at that point, like, okay, I don't see it, so it doesn't exist. Home improvement. So failure to maintain grout over time may result in larger structural damage to your home and potentially to your neighbor's unit below you, for which you would be liable. So just because you do not see damage does not mean that it isn't there. In this situation, the water that got through the grout has gotten into the inside of the house. And imagine if you live in a condo, there's someone living right under you, and you have now also damaged their home as well. So we can see how it's very important to maintain your home. because of the potential disaster that may occur later on. Could go to the next slide. So as we said, for some of the home maintenance projects, you could do it yourself. A good question to ask yourself is, can I fix this? Is it worth the savings? And also be realistic about your skill level. So from what we saw from the previous example, when it comes to the shower tiling, it just requires some of your time and maybe $30 of material. Another examples of this are leaky faucets, caulking bathtubs, and weather stripping. These are projects that are much more common. I do know my father is a big fan of do-it-yourself, and he likes to use YouTube videos to learn how to do the projects. There are lots of tutorials online, but there are some cases that you may actually need a permit. You can always go to the sfplan.org website to see if that project you plan to do yourself actually requires a permit to do so. But there are times that maybe you don't feel comfortable with the project, or you feel like it's bigger than it actually is. In that case, there is a whole professional field. This is when contractors come into play. Do know that electricians, plumbers, carpenters do have professional licenses. So they need to be certified with California. Think of it as like a business license in a sense. Nobody can just be like, okay, I am an electrician. It is a certification process they need to undergo to be one. And I know lots of people like to use Yelp and reviews to find out, whether the food in the restaurant may be good or not. That logic can also apply to contractors as well. If you're looking for contractors, you can always look at Yelp, Angelus, and Better Business Bureaus, and you can also see any past experience that they may have had with previous clients. Because in the end, your home, it's your home. You want to make sure that something is done. They do a good job on it. Some of the work, let's say if you patch a wall, once they patch up the wall, you do not see what's inside of it. So you can't really tell whether they did everything they were supposed to or not. Another source that you can rely on is asking any family members or friends if they have, a plumber that they would recommend to help you with your plumbing issues. It is also important to get estimates in writing. Since this is a contracting work, some may or may not include materials in the price. So it's very important to know what their price entails. So if someone tells me $500 for this project, but it does not include materials, and then you can compare it to a person that gives me an estimate like, oh, I want $700, but I will include materials. So that way you can get a sense of how much this job is truly worth. Because then they're competition for themselves as well. So another couple of tips, maybe when you would have to hire a contractor. Do note that some jobs require special skills or certificates. Those being maybe roof work and replacement, electrical wiring upgrades, and foundation work and mold remediation. So just because one is a carpenter, that does not mean that they would be able to work on a roof, for example, or maybe work on the foundation. Again, there is a website when you can check if a permit is necessary. And this is also a very big disclaimer as well. Some home improvement projects may require a reassessment of your home and can impact your property taxes. Do note, property tax is something you have to pay every year in monthly installments, and it's tied to the value of your house. If you need a reassessment and your house has gone up in value since your purchase, so will your property taxes. Again, it is very important to know that you contact at least 3 or more professionals and also get bids to do the work. That way, you know what is the market rate in a sense of what you're asking for, and it gives you a sense like what is the best deal for you. Some loan programs that may give you a loan to pay off for the repairs, they may require a bid to do so. So you can't just go and like, oh, hey, I need a $50,000 loan to repair my roof. They may ask you like, please contact your contractor, get a quote, so we know that's how much money it is. You can also, if you know a person's name or if you know their contract license, you can always look it up as well. You can also verify it as well. It's something that does need to be renewed and upkept. And that is at the California government website, where you can easily look up their credentials. And do know, don't hesitate to ask the contractor any questions you may have, because this is your home they're working on. It's something for you, for families, that's something they plan to keep for multiple years. We can go on to the next slide. So we come back into how does an HOA come into the process? If you're not under an HOA, what are the repairs you need to make? It's completely up to you. But if you are under an HOA, you may need to seek their approval before working on any projects. Do note that any repairs or improvements in your unit are your responsibility. But any repairs or improvements to a shared space is a responsibility of the HOA. Please read your HOA's rules and regulations to learn about any restrictions in your building that they may have. And I really do want to emphasize this, that some changes may require an HOA approval to begin so. And as I brought up when I was talking about the shower stall example when it comes to caulking, if you live in a condo and your failure to maintain or repair your unit causes damage to another unit, you could be financially liable for it. And again, if you do a home improvement project, you may require a reassessment that can increase the property's value, which would also raise your property taxes as well. It's also important to note that please do take care of your BMR. Home ownership, it is the responsibility of the BMR owner to keep their home in good condition. If not, it may affect your ability to sell. Do know when you look at the BMR section that there are 2 different types of listings: new, which is one flat price, and resale when there's room for negotiation. If you are intending to sell your BMR, you might have an open house, and when you have potential buyers come in, due to the appearance or when they have an expansion, they might find any damages, will affect your leverage. When you sell, you need to ensure that all appliances, finishes, and fixtures must be fully operable and free of any deficiencies or damage. Any damage by excessive wear and tear or because of insufficient maintenance must be repaired as a condition of resale. You must get a property inspection and submit it to the MOHCD with other documents found on our website before you receive your resale price. If you have any requests, any capital improvements or special assessments, reimbursements, they must be reviewed and approved by MOHCD before submitting your pricing request. If you'd like to find any more additional information, it is at the sfmohcd.org website /BMR-resale. So there are conditions you must comply with before the sale will let you even sell. Because do know, if you are selling a BMR, you must receive the city's approval to do so. now that we talked a little bit about the thinking, I do want to talk a little about programs that can help. The first one that we're talking about is just a website I really do like to look at. It is at the sfenvironment.org, and it is a section for energy for San Francisco residents. It has lots of useful tips for increasing energy efficiency in your home. And they also talk about a couple programs that offer rebates for green upgrades. For example, if you install insulation, duct replacement, or ceiling, tankless water heaters, and more, one thing that I've learned from experience is the need for insulation. When we first moved in, the windows looked perfectly fine, but they were actually loose. This actually caused us to spend a lot of money in electricity for heat until we insulated the room and found out that there was no need to have a heater at that point. I think we were able to reduce our energy bill by like a third just by buying some insulation and like an hour of installation. So I really do recommend looking at that website, because some people might be like, hey, I need to do this whole huge project to save, but it could be a quick fix. The next program that we will talk about tonight will be the second half of the presentation. This will be given out by the co-presenter, and he will talk about his organization's home restoration project.
Thanks, Pedro. Thanks, Meta. This is Kimat Kasika. I'm with Habitat for Humanity Greater San Francisco, and today I'm talking about our home preservation program. Next slide. So there I am on the bottom. The home preservation team is made up of 4 members. Matt Rosen is our chief program officer. There's our loan officer. We have a client services and data specialist who works with home repair clients directly. And then I am outreach and engagement. Next slide. Today we'll talk about, so this presentation was last given to the Excelsior Coalition a couple of days ago, and that's why it says that there. This is, and Annie, who's our client services and data specialist, is out today, so I'll be doing the presentation. The rest of this presentation, we'll briefly go over the mission of our program, program requirements, and then I'll be available to take questions either in the chat or verbally. Next slide. So our mission and the mission of this program is founded in social equity. Our projects have always and continue to prioritize low-income households of color. We've been repairing homes for low-income homeowners for over 10 years. We repair homes for homeowners who have lived in their homes for at least 10 years and who earn less than 80% of area median income in San Francisco's 94112, 94134, and 94124 zip codes. So that's the Excelsior Outer Mission. That's also Visitation Valley. And there's Bayview, Portola, and Potrero Hill as well. Next slide. We repair homes so that long-term homeowners can live safely and age in place with dignity and maintain their assets for future generations. Our repairs include roof replacements, health and safety improvements, energy efficiency improvements, accessibility improvements, and building code violations. So a lot of the kinds of improvements that you've heard about in the previous presentation. Examples of this work include roof repair and replacement, replacement of plumbing, replacement of electrical systems, window replacement, insulation, siding, flooring, replacing staircases, and fencing. We also do paving, and we do painting, paving and painting as well. So exterior improvements as well. Next slide. We've repaired over 200 homes in the Bay Area. We repaired 100 homes over the past 10 years in San Francisco, and we repaired another 100 homes in East Palo Alto and in the Bellhaven neighborhood in Menlo Park. Our feedback from a lot of our clients was that we needed to shift to performing larger rehabilitations like the ones that I mentioned on the previous slide. These rehabilitations or these repairs were financed through private donations. And what clients needed was complete and total rehabilitation. So we have state funding that allows for transformative rehabilitation. Next slide. And so this is through a loan program for Southeast San Francisco homeowners. Next slide. And this is our traditional service area from 2011 to 2024. We've completed 100 repairs. This is where they are. So you can see they're all kind of on the east of Bayshore Boulevard. So we've expanded that service area to include the 94134, which is on the other side of Bayshore Boulevard, and then the Excelsior District in 94112, which takes us all the way out to Geneva and Mission Street. Geneva and Mission. Next slide. So the eligibility requirements are pretty straightforward. Eligible homeowners must have lived in their home for the past 10 years, and that's consecutively. And eligible homeowners must fall below maximum household income requirements listed below. So for a household of one person, the maximum income is $104,400, and that's 80% of area median income or below. There is no floor. So if you're at 30%, that's not going to make you ineligible. It's just if you're above 80%, then that would make you ineligible. Next slide. So we're going to be, over the next 2 years, we're going to be providing repairs to 60 eligible homeowners in San Francisco southeastern neighborhoods through a zero interest loan with all payments deferred for 30 years or until the home is sold, whichever comes first. We act as both the lender and the contractor, and that's a big attraction point for a lot of our first-time home buyer clients. Actually, is that we are also the lender and the home seller or the realtor. In this case, we are the lender, and we perform all of the construction, including the procurement of suppliers, vendors, and subcontractors. We are a licensed contractor with the Contractor State Licensing through the Contractor State Licensing Board, and we perform the repair work and we manage the subcontractors. Applications are going to be processed for this program. Are going to be processed on a first come first served basis, so it will not be a lottery system. And we've already got about 38 applications. So we're getting pretty close to that mark of 60. We will help applicants throughout the entire loan application process. We will also connect approved applicants to opportunities to participate in state planning workshops and relevant financial education through a partnership with Open Door Legal. Next slide, please. So there's three parts to this loan summary. And the minimum and maximum loan amounts are going to be $25,000 and $75,000. That's for the southeastern neighborhoods of San Francisco. Again, the minimum loan amount is $25,000. The maximum loan amount is $75,000. Again, the loan will not accrue any interest, and there are no hidden loan fees. There are no origination fees. There's no interest, and all payments are deferred until the term of the loan, which is 30 years, upon which the loan is due in full or upon sale, transfer of title, or non-owner occupancy, whichever comes first. Next slide. Eligible properties. So the property must be the homeowner's primary residence. The repairs must be concentrated to the owner-occupied unit and the common areas on the property. And eligible properties include single-family detached homes, townhomes, and condominiums. And for the condominiums, we can only perform interior improvements, and you may need to get the approval of your HOA for that. Next slide, please. For applicants, you must have owned and occupied the property for at least 10 years prior to becoming eligible for a loan. The household income cannot exceed 80% of the area median income. We only check your income one time. We do not check it every single year. So when you apply, that is when we check it. And once the loan has been awarded, we do not check it again. We also do not conduct a credit check for this loan product. And finally, applicants will not be disqualified for having liquid assets that exceed $150,000. So that's in addition to the area median income. Next slide. So you should be current on your property taxes. You should be current on your mortgage. You should have no open judgments against your credit or be delinquent on any federal debt. Again, we do not perform a credit check, but we do look at judgments. You should not have filed Chapter 7 or Chapter 13 bankruptcies in the last 7 years. You should have current homeowners insurance. Most of you do. You should have a qualified home repair need. And again, a total household income lower than the 2021 maximum income qualifications, which we're going to show you again on the next slide. Ah, we must have taken it out. Okay. The maximum is 104. And what I will do is I will upload a copy of this presentation so you can check it out yourself in the chat. So our program helps those with limited incomes and keep their homes safe, warm, and dry. We install new windows, insulation, replacing stairs. Everything is about keeping long-term homeowners in their homes. If you think that you are in need of a home repair and you are a homeowner that lives in San Francisco southeastern neighborhoods, please definitely apply. And you can apply on our website here. I'll type it in the chat. And from here, you can download an application. You can also email me and request an application that way. And that information is included in this presentation as well. Next slide. But definitely do not, and you can also email homerepairs@habitatgsf.org, which is in the presentation that I shared with you in chat. Definitely, we don't want potential applicants to kind of disqualify oneself out of hand. So if you have an eligible home repair and you meet all the other requirements, owner occupied for 10 years and so on, definitely apply. And we definitely encourage you to apply. You can apply via a downloaded PDF application from our website. And you can also apply with a printed application, which I will upload here. But definitely, if you have a qualifying, if you believe you have a qualifying repair, definitely apply. I've just uploaded a copy of the application. You can email the application to us. You can snail mail the application to us at our office at 300 Montgomery Street. You can drop the application off by hand. At our office. All of those three options are available to you. But if you want to get on that list of 60, or if you know someone who should, definitely go ahead and apply to get on that list. And that's the end of my presentation. Are there any questions? Going once. Going twice. So if you have any questions after this presentation, if you think of something like later tonight or tomorrow, feel free to email me. Email us either at homerepairs@habitatgsf.org, or you can email me directly at the email address that I've uploaded in the chat, kkithika@habitatgsf.org, and that email will go to me as well. Sometimes we get questions that come in maybe a day or two after our presentations, So if you think of one, use either one of those two emails to direct them to us. Thank you for your time. I cede the floor back to Mena.
Oh, thank you for giving that talk about your program. I do know this is something that a lot of people ask for. So, as he said, if you do know, even if you're not interested, but know someone that might be, please do let them know about this program so they can apply and get on that list. I also do want to know, this is only the first day of the Housing Expo. This is like usually the last presentation of the night. Wednesday and Thursday, there's another, there are much more topics that will be covered, and those are all through Zoom. But I'm also very happy to announce that this Saturday, that we can have it in person again. This is a resource fair and help center. This is not centered just on purchase, but this is also aimed towards rentals as well. It is this Saturday, October 1st from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be lots of information and services. As far as I know, every organization that is a part of Homeownership SF will have a booth set up. I know my manager will be attending, and from what I was told, if you had any questions or issues that were not addressed in the presentations, or maybe there's more dire situations, you would be able to get help in person to get the ball rolling on that. Do note that, let's say you came on a topic and you may need the help of a housing counselor, you can always reach out to the housing organization that you worked with to purchase your BMR, or you can always contact Homeownership SF, and they will link you directly with one of the organizations so you can get your assistance. You can see their phone number and email on their website. But do know you can always go to homeownershipsf.org to find the referral as well.